trauma bonds. Got close off of battle scars. Equal pain, so we think it's equal game. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was winning the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hoop MCs. This is Nassim, brought to you by Hoop MCs. I already said that. And my co-host, Hassan. Hassan, how are you this week?
I'm good, man. That wasn't bad for a first try.
Yeah, I said Hoop MCs, I think, 7 times.
I feel like I've done that a couple of times in the past, too.
You have.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're the go-to guy, so we don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome back to another episode. I'm going to go ahead and put the self-promo in early this time. If you're a visual watcher, you could catch us on YouTube at Hoop MCs, or you could watch us or listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You could also follow our social media, which will be put right here, right where my finger is. Just look, I'm going to place it right here. I'm the editor. I'm going to make sure it's put right here.
Right there, guys.
All right, let's go ahead and give this a go, Hassan.
How about our audio listeners? Are you just...
I said, those will also be put on the wall when I'm talking about Apple.
But where can they find us?
I already said Apple and Spotify.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not putting it in twice. Okay, you guys are only getting one clickable.
Anywho, episode 40, or more importantly, the second one where we're doing it in person. Pretty good. We're trying something new out. We got angled cameras now.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. It's not even high production. We're using 3 phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually quite confusing now that I think about it.
If you saw the setup, you would actually make fun of us.
Yeah, you would. But we got a lot to talk about. It seems like that every week just because things are getting a lot more interesting. Specifically, earlier this week, I want to get my Rockets bias out the way. First of all, my guy out here went to the game in which it happened. Talk a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, I could give you a whole play-by-play of what was going on. First off, I went to the game anticipating to watch Giannis because, I mean, it's the Rockets. We don't really have anybody exciting. Giannis gets hurt on the first play of the game, and I was upset because, I mean, well, who else am I going to watch? And then KPJ was like, Nassim? He came up to me, by the way. He was like, Nassim? Don't worry, I got you.
Were you rocking nosebleeds or?
No, I was actually right behind the goal. You could see me every time the Bucks were shooting a free throw in the second half.
No way.
On TV. Yeah, I have a screenshot.
Oh my god.
Dude, yeah, it was pretty cool.
What'd you do? Sneak down, or you just got tickets?
We just got. Nobody's going to watch the Rockets, so why not? Dude?
Are they cheap?
My friend bought them, so I don't really know.
Oh man, I want to know. Actually,
they're probably.
Well, it's not like I would have gone.
Yeah, I don't think you would go. But anyways, yeah, that was pretty loud. I mean, it was pretty fun, man. Like Kevin Porter Jr., I think, had 25 or 30 at some point in the third quarter. And me and my friend, we were talking like maybe he'll hit 40 for the game. The guy hits 40 with like 5 minutes left, and I thought that was it. And he just starts cooking Brook Lopez. Like, it was literally barbecue chicken. He's just crossing him up and hitting step backs on him. It was insane. And by the way, I'm not even talking like this is a podcast anymore. To clarify, KPJ is the youngest player in NBA history to have 50 points and 10 assists in a game. Yeah.
I thought he was like the 4th youngest.
Okay. But with 10 assists, yeah. So he carried the Rockets to a win, a comeback, 17-point comeback win against the Bucks on Thursday. He was just playing out of his mind, man.
We were down 17?
Yeah.
But that was probably early in the game, no?
Yeah, it was a couple minutes before halftime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after the game, KJ Martin was on Instagram Live, and KPJ didn't realize, and he was like, yo, did you see me busting Drew Holiday's ass? And KJ Martin looked so scared whenever he said that.
He's like, dude, this is going to go on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a burp. One thing that I wanted to mention, damn it, I had this in my mind. Go ahead and stall out for me while I try to think of what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, in that game also, there was Forbes, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton, who literally could not miss for the Bucks.
For real?
In the fourth quarter, they made every single bucket, and I thought we lost.
You know, when I saw the game on my phone, because I just don't watch Rockets games. Like, I'm not going to hurt myself like that. But I'm always checking up on stats during the game, and I got the notification. First thing that came to my mind was I was pissed because I saw Rockets beating Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And then I saw KPJ's name. You know how they bring up like the box score, like the highs?
Yeah.
I just saw his name. Like, but I saw like a glimpse of it right before turning off my phone. And then I turned my phone back up because I'm like, wait, I don't usually see KPJ's name.
Yeah.
And so I look at it again, and then I see 50 points. And I think I was having dinner with my wife. And then I was like, what? And then she was like, what happened? I'm like, oh, my God. 50 points, though. That's pretty insane. Oh, the thing that I wanted to say was I went on Twitter, and some person tweeted out, KPJ dropped 50 points after getting suspended from leaving a strip club. It's like Harden never left Houston.
Yeah. And then Harden tweets out about
Yeah.
KPJ. Dude, his ghost or his spirit is inside of KPJ right now.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy, man. Like, we really haven't missed out on Harden, I feel like, because of all the comparisons with Kevin Porter Jr. and the fact that he does this. Let me ask you this. What do you think? Do you think this is a fluke game, or do you think this is literally like the guy's potential? Like,
I think it's his potential. Not even me trying to be brain eating or like biased.
Sure.
Just watching him, he looked good. Like he actually looked like he knew what he was doing and facilitating and playing very well. He looked like a young version of James Harden, just the way he was like handling the rock and going ISO and hitting these step backs. I don't know if it's going to continue like that, but I still think he has a lot of potential.
One thing that I noticed when I saw the guy play is he's very passive. Like, he doesn't take as many shots as he should. Like, for someone to, like, for an organization to put, I wouldn't say all their marbles, but they definitely put their trust in you. Like, I want to see the dude shoot at least 20 times a game.
Yeah.
He should be shooting that much, especially with John Wall out. Like, I want to see that from him. I tweeted out from our account, KPJ, Cade Cunningham, Jayshawn Tate, and summer 2023, KPJ, Jayshawn Tate, Cade Cunningham, James Harden, and whoever he brings along to ring chase.
I really think Harden, it's maybe my brain eating, but I'm pretty sure he's going to come back at least like to retire here or something.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that as well, but I honestly hope it's still somewhere left in his prime. Like, I don't want him to just come back like where he's on that tail end, like Carmelo Anthony, or like where he, you know how Melo is. Like, Melo got phased out super early in the NBA.
Yeah, I think that was unfair.
Yeah, it is. Like, the NBA is so weird. Like, they take dudes who are still kind of like not necessarily on the peak, but they're still in their prime, and then they just cut them out.
Yeah.
It's ruthless.
And you give guys like, I don't know, Matthew Dellavedova a chance. Like, I insert Carmelo instead of Matthew Dellavedova on that Cavs team, and they're like winning 5 extra games. Bro.
Yeah, and it started with him going to OKC.
Yeah.
And then I remember whenever he was with OKC, I think that's whenever it started, like, the bashing of Carmelo Anthony. Like, oh, this guy's not good.
Yeah.
And then people started seeing these Hoodie Mellow videos in the summer, and they're like, yo, like, we could form a big three with this guy still.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I still think he's a pretty good player if the NBA, not the NBA, if teams would just accept the fact that he doesn't need to jack up threes all the time.
Yeah.
Like, he's still he's an elite mid-range shooter, in my opinion, still.
That's why he didn't fit with, or he was the scapegoat for the Rockets. He didn't want to shoot threes, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was just the reason that he got cut. The Rockets are just, I don't know, trying to find someone to blame the second season with Chris Paul.
Who do you think? What's it called? Cut him out the picture.
Like,
do you think it was organization? Do you think it was a player?
Like from the Rockets or in general? I think it was the organization. I don't think Chris Paul or Harden are doing that.
Do you think D'Antoni did it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It could have been him.
Because wasn't Melo the one who got D'Antoni fired from the Knicks?
So you think he just brought him on as revenge to give him like 2 games?
No. I think Daryl Morey knew that Chris Paul was BFFs with, obviously, Melo.
Yeah.
And so that was probably the primary reason why we signed him on. And then I think D'Antoni wasn't so excited about it. And he probably made up an excuse like, look, man, like, he's not the answer. He's not going to solve our problems. He actually hurts us. And so we just cut him. Man, but who was the one who probably co-signed on that? Do you think it was a player? Or did Morey just listen to D'Antoni.
I'm pretty sure he just listens to D'Antoni because I really don't think Harden or especially not Chris Paul are doing that.
I thought about Harden. Chris Paul, no. I don't see Chris Paul doing that to him.
I don't see why Harden would do that. I mean, the guy played with Joey Dorsey, so I'm sure he can manage with Melo.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Another big performance that just happened recently, Jason Tatum.
Nice. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Transition?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
Jason Tatum yesterday dropped 60 burger. I was kind of upset, to be honest with you, because it didn't even we didn't even get the long lasting hype of Kevin Porter Jr. We just got Jason Tatum coming. He's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Boom, drop 60.
Well, I mean, in the fashion that he did it is a lot better than what KPJ did it.
That's true. What's it called? It was a 32 point, they were trailing 32 Boston in the second quarter, late second quarter. That's crazy, man. The fact that they were down 30. I don't know if he willed them back into the game or if it was a team effort, but I'm sure he had plenty to do with them coming back in the game. But
yeah,
it went to overtime. They were trailing. I was looking through the play-by-play to see what the margin of victory. What the gap was between the two teams. And I think in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, they were still down. They were still up by 20-something San Antonio.
Wow.
But they ended up cutting it down to 13 at the end of the third. And then it just started getting more competitive. And then it went to overtime. And then I think Jaylen Brown hit a go-ahead 3.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy how these games, no matter how much you're down by, nowadays you're never out of it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is the team's thinking let's cut it down to 25 before halftime. And then once they go into the third quarter, let's try to get it within 20 halfway.
Yeah.
Let's try to get it within 15. It's crazy, and it actually works, I feel a lot of times, just having, let's cut it down to this margin. If you actually reach that margin, then they actually put together momentum and come back. I don't know.
It's all about, I think teams focus too much on the three-point shot, to get themselves back in the game.
Yeah.
When they don't really need to, honestly. You're gonna find somebody slacking off on defense, and they could easily get a layup. But I think you're right, man. We've been seeing a lot of teams coming back as of late.
Yeah.
What else is newsworthy? I think LeBron's return, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday happened. He missed the game winner.
Yeah. I'm not gonna blame him for that. I mean, it's his first game back in a couple months.
How did he do, by the way? What was his box score?
I can't even remember. I remember I checked it at halftime. He was pretty efficient, and then I fell asleep. So
okay. I wasn't sure if he shot poorly from the field or not. I know he finished with 16.
By halftime, he was shooting 50 or 60, I think, percent.
Oh, okay.
But he only had taken 8 shots or something.
Yeah. So he probably had himself a decent game.
Yeah. And
then I think AD was the leading scorer. But yeah, they lost to Sacramento. I want to talk a little bit about the Lakers, though. They're, I think, still at the 5th seed, but dude, they're one game back from being the 7th seed.
I mean, and it's not even to exaggerate, but it is possible for them to drop that much because I'm just assuming that LeBron and AD aren't going to be playing full games for the most part, and they still have to get the rhythm back, so they could lose a couple winnable games just to kind of slip down there.
Yeah. So what do you think do you see them falling back to this 6th or 7th seed?
I think the lowest they'll hit is the 5th seed. I don't think they'll end up falling
to They're not going to get to the 4th seed, so it's either the highest is the 5th.
They're out of the race for the 4th? I didn't realize.
I think maybe 3-4 days ago, so Denver's in the 4th seed.
Yeah.
Denver's record is good enough to be number 1 in the East.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a pretty big gap, I think, that it's 5-6 games back. Yeah. So they're essentially out of the 4th seed.
Yeah.
So the best that they could finish is the 5th.
You know what I kind of want to see? Them drop to 7th, so then they could no, because then that takes away from the Rockets. So they could be the lowest seed to go on to the championship.
Well, why do you say it takes away from the Rockets? Because of Portland?
No, the 94 team, weren't they a 6 seed?
Ah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Wait, so the 6 seed was the lowest to win a championship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're going to win it. The Nets are going to win it anyways. So you go ahead and have the 7th seed. But.
Nice. A lot of people are still high on the Lakers to when they're I still don't see any team beating the Lakers, which is weird, no?
I'm one of those people. In the West, in the East, I mean, I think...
No. I'm talking about, literally winning the chip. People are saying, I can't see anybody beating the Lakers still.
I don't know how you can look at the two teams and also look at, what's their coach's name, Frank Vogel?
Yeah.
I don't know how you can look at his comments saying they're going to stick with AD and Drummond on the court, like as a duo, and then also look at the Nets lineup and think you're going to win that series. Because if you put Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond on the floor at the same time versus Kyrie, Harden, and KD, I'm going to go get myself a plate and just continue to eat, man, because they're going to destroy them.
The Lakers were like this last year. I remember they started off with two bigs against the Rockets in the playoffs, and after game one, because we took that game, they were like, okay, forget it. We're gonna put AD at center. Yeah. That's what it's gonna happen. Yeah, I think they could get away with that big center duo against certain teams, but it's not gonna fly in the finals.
Yeah, they could do it against probably the Nuggets and the Clippers. Honestly, I don't know about the Jazz and the Suns just because they have better guard play. But the Nuggets, I mean, because Jamal Murray's out, and then the Clippers, because who the hell's their point guard again?
Their point guard is Rondo. Does he start?
I don't even know, but I mean, he's not taking anybody ISO like that.
Yeah.
So you can get away with it with those two teams, but the other teams you can't.
Yeah, and I think against the Nets, who starts at center? DeAndre Jordan?
Yeah.
Still? So, and who's their power forward? Is it KD or Blake Griffin starting?
I think they're. I honestly we haven't seen their healthy lineup. That's the problem.
Oh no! You know what? KD does start because Joe Harris starts.
Oh, so Blake Griffin comes off the bench?
Yeah, he comes off the bench.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because they're not going to start Blake Griffin at center.
You put him at power forward.
But KD's at power forward.
Put him at a 3. You know how much he would kill the other team if he's at a 3?
Why?
The lineup. I mean, like
no, but you got Harden, Kyrie. And then you need somebody like Joe Harris to be in the corner, run off a screen for a three-pointer. Like, they're better off with Joe Harris,
I guess
with the personnel. I'm not saying Joe Harris is better than Blake Griffin.
This guy's the next Steve Kerr, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, 1 and 2 out in East and West, competitive as hell.
Yeah.
Like, Nets and Philly are tied in the loss column. And then Phoenix, who ended up crushing the Jazz. Chris Paul deserves MVP votes, by the way. Yeah, now they're number 1. They're tied with the Jazz. Dude, I don't know why you don't believe me with the Suns.
I have to see it to believe it. I'm going to say that.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Because this is their first time going to the playoffs. They're a young team. The only person on that team with experience is Chris Paul. Yes, that is a lot of experience because Chris Paul just did something last year with OKC, but I have to see it because I mean teams are gonna make adjustments and you're gonna have to beat the Lakers, which I don't think they can do.
Yeah, but I'm just simply saying, like, you don't think this team can go to the conference finals? If they avoid the Lakers,
I think they'll lose to the Clippers. If I'm being honest with you, I think it goes to 7, and I think the Clippers take it. I think Chris Paul loses another game 7. He's gonna flop at the end like he did last year. But I mean, let me make it clear. I'm not a Suns hater. Okay, I know it sounds like that. I know you actually hate LeBron. I don't actually hate the Suns.
I don't hate LeBron.
Anyways, the Suns, I would love to see them advance and actually do well, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't know, man.
That's my take on it. But if they advance, shit, I might root for them. But I don't know if they're gonna.
Yeah, I think the Suns are a very likable team. I haven't heard any trash talking about the Suns, really.
No, they're very. I mean, they have a young team. What's their day? And led by Chris Paul. That's like the most ideal lineup you want to have.
Like, yeah, because Chris Paul. I think when Chris Paul was on the Rockets and before, he was very disliked. And I think when he went to OKC, and like I think what the NBA, like what the league saw him do in OKC, I think he became much more likable.
Yeah, because
as a player
in Houston, he had that like desperation kind of mode. Like he was desperate to win. He was doing anything at all costs. Like he was playing well, obviously, but then he's flopping like crazy. He's like barking at other teams. In OKC, I'm sure he realizes like we're not winning a chip, so I'm gonna just do my best to be a leader, and that's whenever he gains respect. That's
pretty well put. But yeah, dude, I think okay. So my thing is, I think the Lakers are still gonna come out the West, but ideally, I would like to see a Phoenix Lake. I think we're probably gonna get the best matchup for the Lakers if it's Phoenix. Disagree, or do you think it's Clippers?
I agree with the Suns. Yeah? I think just in terms of like it's like new versus old. Not saying LeBron and AD are old, but like the Suns can end up running the West. Who knows?
But from a competitive standpoint,
I think that's
do
probably
you
the best
think
one.
Clippers are going to be more competitive, or the Suns would be more competitive?
If there's a team that I not believe in more than the Suns, it's going to be the Jazz and then the Clippers. So I think the Suns would be.
Whoa! You're saying you believe in the Jazz more than the Clippers?
No, I was just saying they were under the Suns. I probably believe in the Clippers more than Jazz, obviously.
Yeah.
I believe in the Suns more than both those teams.
Okay, yeah.
And if the Nuggets were healthy, they would have been above all of those teams.
So I think I was praising the Jazz earlier in this podcast. Yeah, I might have to get off that train.
Thank you.
Yeah. You called it. Yeah. You called it.
I will say the West, like before you can go off, the West looks a lot more fun than I thought it would a month or two ago, and it makes me miss Jamal Murray. If he was healthy, you have like 4 or 5 teams who can make noise.
Yeah.
But
like you have 4 or 5 teams probably where you can get excited about, but probably deep down in your heart you know that the Lakers are still gonna overcome it.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah. But now I think, man, if we got the Jazz going into the playoffs where it was like the best version of themselves, because you know how they were essentially destroying teams at one point, so they look like a powerhouse. Yeah. I wish we got that version of the Jazz heading into the playoffs, and then the current Phoenix Suns team, how they are, and then the Clippers. I think the Clippers are still playing pretty good basketball. Yeah. So if we had those 3 teams, I think I would be a lot more like excited in terms of like, oh, there might be a chance that the Lakers could lose, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
I mean, could still be fun matchups like Lakers versus Suns or Clippers versus Jazz. I still think that would be kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Mavericks versus anybody. I think like just watching Luka is special. Portland, I think, will just get bodied.
Mavericks, Jazz in the first round. Who do you got?
Jazz, but that would be fun.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't be that surprised if the Mavericks upset them.
I don't know what it is about the Mavs team, but they're just missing something. And I just feel like it's been like that for last year and this year. There's something missing for them to not excel more.
Yeah. I think they need a forward, like kind of like a small forward.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still believe in KP, like Kristaps Porzingis, if he's still good or not. I don't know. It seems like he's still kind of like a 2010 guy, but I don't know, man. Like, when are we gonna start seeing that star pairing, like legit star pairing with Luka?
Yeah, like I feel like every duo that like we've seen in the past, we've had that moment where it's like, okay, this duo can make noise, but we haven't seen that from them too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Also, I think Luka mirrors a lot of like those young talents where they're like so damn good, where it was just them riding solo beginning of his career. I think we're gonna eventually see a star paired up with him.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna become like he's gonna wreak havoc on the league.
Yeah. Like if they get him, no offense to KP, but if they get him a better big moving forward, that's gonna be crazy. Like this is just obviously pulling stuff out of my head, but like Joel Embiid with Luka would literally ruin the league.
Yeah, but honestly, let me ask you this: do you see a star going to Dallas?
I think Luka has to leave. I don't know what star leaves their city to go to Dallas.
Well, it's Texas.
What do you mean?
So you would sell the player on Texas?
Yeah, but I mean, deep down, like it's Texas, but like it's the worst city out of.
No, I agree with you because free agency wise, I don't ever recall seeing a star go to Dallas.
And same with San Antonio.
Yeah, because Dallas ends up trading for players to get them. And, like, back to the Nowitzki days, I don't remember seeing... Like, they got Jason Kidd at the tail end. I think he was a free agent or they traded. I don't remember. But there was no stars on that championship team other than Nowitzki.
Jason Terry, baby. He locked up LeBron.
Jason Terry was cold as shit. But, yeah, I don't want to see Luka leave Dallas, truthfully. Because I kind of want to see him build his legacy. Like, I'm so tired of stars leaving, swapping teams, and just winning like that. When was the last time we got like somebody who struggled with a team and then ended up getting a championship? And you can't group. I would say Nowitzki probably was the last guy because
I was gonna say Kobe, but or I guess it's kind of different. But yeah.
Well, Nowitzki won a championship after Kobe.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was trying to think of who was more recent.
Yeah.
D Wade maybe? But he kind of brought in LeBron and Chris Bosh.
Like, are you talking about? Oh, no. See, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like
he did it on his own, essentially.
Well, you could still get a star and win it that way, but I think like the Miami Heat was formed. Like it wasn't organic.
Yeah,
the way they won it. And the same thing with LeBron in Cleveland. It still wasn't organic. He still had an underdog story about beating the Warriors, but I don't think it was organic.
Yeah, I mean, he left and came back. I think that kind of ruined the organic story to it. But
like there was no struggle. Like Luka, I'm not saying like he's gone through struggle because he missed playoffs the first one, and then he ended up making playoffs last year. He's gonna make playoffs this year, but there's still some level of like struggle that he's going through. You know?
So you think it's like in his early days of becoming?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
I would love it, but
with the way the league is, like you're saying.
Yeah. What else happened recently?
Russell Westbrook, dude.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook. What do you think about triple doubles?
I think, in a sense, they're kind of overvalued. Just as like 30-point games are kind of starting to get overvalued, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like back then, it was a lot harder to do, just because the league is more offensive. I feel like, but I mean, regardless, what Russell Westbrook is doing is insane, even on a shortened season. And I'll go ahead and clarify if that's okay with you, co-host.
Go ahead.
Can I clarify? Okay.
Yeah.
He yesterday tied Oscar Robinson's. Was it Oscar Robertson?
No, it was Wilt.
My bad. Wilt Chamberlain's record for most triple doubles in a single season.
Yeah. 31.
31. We have 10 games left in a shortened season where I'm pretty sure Westbrook also missed the games, right? If I'm not mistaken. He may have missed a couple of games. That's just actually insane to me. Like the fact that we're on a shortened season, he still has 10 games left to break the record, and he's already tied it.
Like, I think he made triple doubles a little bit more exciting. I used to think like, all right, dude, I'm so sick and tired of hearing this guy triple double. Like he already averaged it 3 in the past 4 seasons, but I think the fact that he's putting up like crazy numbers, it makes them a little bit more exciting nowadays.
Yeah, and he's willing the Wizards, literally.
You think so?
He's willing them back into the.
That's true.
Into the run at least.
Because I think, by the way, do you agree that like? I want to talk about something. The most important player and the best player. Do you think there's a distinction, or do you think it means the same thing?
I really think it's the same thing, because at the end of the day, everyone can talk about a heart and soul of a team, but at the end of the day, that heart and soul doesn't matter if you don't have your best player. And I get that there's a most important like presence, like a locker room presence or whatever. But your best player is also your most important player at the end of the day, in my opinion.
This is why I think you're wrong. Okay.
Go ahead.
I know we're getting off Russell Westbrook pretty short here, but okay, we'll use the analogy with them. The most important player and the most best player. Who do you think is more important to that Wizards team? Russ or Beal?
I think that's a little unfair.
Why?
Because they're both equally as part of the success. That's like saying, let's go back to the OKC days. Who was more important, Westbrook or Durant?
So I thought, okay, so when it was just them two?
Yeah.
So I do think that, so here's the thing. They couldn't win without the other. Because like when Westbrook went down, KD still needed help, right? Now, I recognize that, but KD's definitely the best player.
Yeah.
But I don't think in that case, I don't think Russell was necessarily important. Like, he wasn't the most important player to that team.
He was.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
like, you still needed him because he was critical. But I wanted to bring up the case of the Rockets, Chris Paul and James Harden. We can agree, I hope you would agree with me, that James Harden is definitely the most, like, the best player. He was the MVP of that team. He was the best player on that team, but Chris Paul was the most important player.
I don't know.
He was.
I don't know.
He definitely was, man. That Harden leads by, like, he leads by example. You need that vocal leader. You know what I'm saying?
I think if they don't get robbed of that, the Game 7, Harden is still taking them to the finals, in my opinion. Like Chris Paul, yes, we all believe that he was very important and we could have won without him going down, which was proven. But I still think if there was fair officiating, that Harden is taking that game.
Sure, yeah, you could argue that.
If he wins that game, are we still having this argument that Chris Paul is more important?
Well, is this assuming that the Rockets win a championship against Toronto?
Yeah. which would have happened regardless. Yeah.
No, against Toronto. No, they would have versus Cleveland.
They were waxing that team.
No, they would have played Cleveland. Yeah, and I think they probably would have beat Cleveland. No, I think I wouldn't have brought this up if that was the case. But I'm saying that even though there was bad calls that game, I still think you missed out sorely on Chris Paul.
For sure, but I mean, that's not saying. I mean, there's been like LeBron's first revisit to the finals with the Cavs when Kyrie goes down. He's not the most important player, but they missed him. You can miss a player, but he's not the most important, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because Kyrie was the best player.
Can we go ahead and change topics? Because since we're already on the Cavs, Anderson Varejao is back in the league for some reason.
Yeah, well, what is this guy doing?
Dude, I thought this guy retired. I don't know what's happening.
How old is he?
I really don't know.
He has to be 40-something.
I'm pretty sure this guy, he's not even ring chasing. He's with the Cavs. Like,
also, why Cleveland?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, did you just get out of bed one day and you're like, you know what? I want to go back to Cleveland.
Yeah. That was so weird. Like, I don't know. I think he probably just wanted to say, like, yeah, I finished my career. I want to finish my basketball career with a professional team.
Yeah, maybe. Because I was reading all the comments, like, under the post, and everyone was like, when was this guy still in the league? Like, it was a genuine confusion.
I don't know if he played overseas ball or what, but, yeah, congrats, Anderson.
Welcome back, dude.
Yeah. Hold on. So, LeBron, AD. Now, listen to me. LeBron. I think he may be more important. I think AD might be the best player on that team.
I want to wrap up this episode.
No, hear me out, dude. Think about it. AD is the best player on that team.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
I just want you to...
LeBron is more important.
Okay. Who's the best player in the league right now?
Okay, I knew you were going to bring this up. Obviously, LeBron.
So how on earth is he not the best player on his team?
It gets tricky, but that's just the way it works, dude. I don't make the rules up.
You literally making it up as we go.
No, dude. I wish I made up the rules, but I don't. I unfortunately I don't.
If you guys are visual watchers, you can literally see me start infuriating with like steam. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah. We're looking at our board.
Yeah, we probably hit two topics and
a couple of talking points. But one thing that I definitely wanted to talk about before this episode wraps up was the 10th seed.
Yeah.
Warriors are at the 10th seed. They've been struggling. That Curry hype train died down pretty significantly.
Yeah. And
then now you got the Pelicans. Not saying the Pelicans are making noise or have made noise, but what's interesting is they got they're playing the Warriors 3 times in their last 10, 11 games.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors are playing the Rockets and then not back to back, but they got the Pelicans twice in a row in New Orleans. Do you think, and Pelicans are 3 games back, do you think the Pelicans can steal that 10th spot?
I don't think so. I think Curry has one last explosion in him to win one of those games and kind of wrap up the...
I think we're done with the explosion.
Because let me tell you what happens every time we count Curry out. He explodes for 50 points in 3 games in a row, right?
He seems really inconsistent, though, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
It's the James Harden effect.
Yeah.
He needs help.
Yeah. I really want to see the Pelicans in the play-in, though.
So do I.
Yeah.
I can't bet against a guy who can easily explode for 50 on any given night.
Yeah. I mean, if the Pelicans were playing better basketball, I think I'd have a little bit better faith in them. But I don't know. I just think it's an interesting storyline heading as the season unwinds.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't want the Pelicans to make it just for one specific reason, because I went to the Rockets versus Pelicans game on Easter. And I was going to watch Zion, of course, and an hour before the game, he's announced out.
And Ingram was out, wasn't he?
Yeah, so I went to watch Lonzo Ball, baby.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball. He had himself a good game, right?
Yeah, he literally didn't miss from 3.
Yeah.
I think he had his career high in 3s that night.
What do you think about Lonzo Ball? Do you think he's going to be an all-star?
When he leaves New Orleans, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, because then he'll have his time. I mean, right now
he's being overshadowed by Ingram and Lonzo.
Yeah, I don't really know where I can see him kind of fitting. I know we're kind of
Chicago, dude. That would be sick. Him, Zach LaVine, and Vucevic, whatever.
But they're already struggling to.
Or the Clippers.
He goes back as a villain to the Lakers. This is his villain origin story, dude.
Yeah, I'm not into anime or whatever, but yeah, I agree.
Anime.
Okay, I see you wearing Demon Slayer, dude. So that's the first. What is Demon Slayer? I know this is a NBA. I know this is a podcast about basketball, but
It's an anime.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, but like, where did it originate?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, I mean, like,
Like, how did it come about?
yeah.
So it's
Because
like
I never heard of it.
it's like a kind of like.
Is it new?
Yeah. Well, it came out in 2019, but a movie just came out this month.
That's
It's a-
crazy
yeah.
that they already have a movie like 2 years in.
Yeah, it's the best, probably the best anime out.
I think I watched the trailer and I just couldn't get.
You have to
just
watch it.
couldn't-
I'm gonna be honest with you. You have to watch it in Japanese. The English dub it's like me voice acting.
Wait, but there's no, I know, but like the theater that you went to watch it in was in Japanese with English subtitles, right?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. The trailer, the same thing. I couldn't get into it.
man. I because you just don't like anime. I don't know.
No, but what is it with anime and like just the characters moving slow? You know what I'm saying?
Slow.
Like I'm saying, like it's way too dramatic and intense. Like
Oh.
there's not like a continuous like motion. Like they're all
They're in like
it's
slow
just,
motion.
They're like panning into his face with a stupid facial reaction.
It's part of building up the intensity.
I get that that's like anime culture. I want to get off this pretty soon though,
Yeah.
because whoever's listening to this, I'm like, what the
Well, if you don't like anime, then you could just unsubscribe. I'm just kidding. Don't
no,
unsubscribe.
don't do that because I don't like anime. I need y'all to.
You need to find a new co-host, baby.
Anyways, speaking of Demon Slayer, Anthony Davis. No, I'm just kidding.
What? Oh, dude, I was literally so confused.
I was gonna go back to the most important best player topic.
Dude, he's not the best player.
I think I fall in love with.
Finding ways to bash LeBron.
No, I think I fall in love with like just making outrageous and outlandish comments.
Yeah, I've noticed
Yeah.
that. Like Chris Paul getting MVP votes.
No, Chris Paul, relax. By the way, I see what you did there because MVP conversation was a subtopic that we have there.
Yeah.
So that's really freaking impressive, dude.
Thanks, man.
But Chris Paul definitely deserves third place votes.
I'll give him fifth.
Third place. Who was a better give me a better player who deserved MVP votes than him?
Obviously, the winner, Jokic, Embiid, Giannis.
No. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
How?
Just because I don't want to give you the right. You're probably right, but I don't want to give it to you.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear. That's all
But
I
I'm not
needed to
giving.
hear.
I'm not giving it to him. Okay, I'm saying Giannis is.
Dude, Giannis has like what, the sixth best record in the league? Now we're giving him MVP votes?
Not giving it to Chris Paul.
Third
Let me
place.
get
You're not
closer
giving
to
him
my-
anything.
We're not giving it to Chris Paul.
Dude, yeah, Chris Paul is sick. That's all I got to say. And he's been playing really good. Like, he's not putting up like these sorry-ass stats.
Honestly, you're right. Like the more I think about it, the more he's deserving
Yeah.
of votes. But I really like something like.
Hell, I would give him MVP.
Okay. All right, dude.
I'm just joking. No, but I think you could make a case that he deserves it more than Joel Embiid. You could make a case, but I don't think they're going to do that.
There's not a case. That one, that's outrageous.
From a winning standpoint, yes. Stat-wise, no. Joel Embiid has been going crazy. So I think you still need to respect giving Joel Embiid, like put him in the running for first place, which he won't get. But, yeah, anyways.
You don't think that the 76ers are matching the Suns' wins? I know do we have to wrap up soon, I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Where are we at? What time? We're at 41 minutes. We went 54 last time.
Oh, wow. Dude, for some reason I
And
felt...
also, we were like 4 minutes of dead time, so we're really at like 37.
Oh, we're good. Okay.
I'm having a great time.
Same, honestly.
Yeah.
So let me go, because I felt like we needed to wrap up, but we're good. Let
Yeah.
me go back to this. If you don't think if Joel Embiid is healthy, he's not almost matching the Suns' win total? What's the
No.
game difference between?
No.
Do you know? Like, just off the top of your head.
I'll put it this way. I think Denver is closer or probably the same record as Philly and what's their name? Brooklyn.
And they're like,
Than they are to Phoenix. You know what I'm saying?
and they're like 4 or 5 games away.
Like I think Phoenix has like what, 17 losses?
Something like that, yeah.
17, 18 losses?
And they have 21.
Yeah.
So 4 games
4
back.
games back. You're saying that. Well, here's the thing. I don't think the Sixers played poorly when Joel Embiid was out. I think they were pretty decent.
They still lost a couple games. That maybe if Joel Embiid is in there, and we're gonna decide that between 4 games.
All I know is that whenever they played the Suns with a healthy Embiid, Chris Paul Suns led by Chris Paul ended up getting them that win. Yeah.
Okay.
So
MVPs
matter.
can't lose.
Huh?
MVPs can't lose.
No, they could lose, but I don't know what case you're trying. I don't know what case you're trying to make though, because it sounds like you were saying like, oh, if he never got hurt, they'd be the best team in the league. No, they can't even pass up the freaking Nets.
I said they would have been close, which they are. They're 4 games away. 4 games is pretty close.
I don't think so, man.
Dude, can I just get up and just punch you? Is that okay?
No, silly. I think they have 22 losses, by the way.
Yep, I thought it was 21.
I think it's 22.
I'm just trying to make my argument sound better if I'm being honest.
Yeah, there's probably like a good 5 games behind them, which is a lot. So Chris Paul probably is the MVP this season, but he'll get snubbed. What else you want to talk about?
Well, I was looking at the board. We didn't talk about the East for the race to the 10th seed because, I mean, it's pretty much locked up.
We don't have that on the board.
Well, I was looking race to the 10th, and I was we didn't talk about the East side. The East is...
I think the Bulls are slowly, falling.
Yeah, it's locked out. The Wizards are the 10th, and then it goes up from there.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a 3 or 4 game difference between the 10th and 11th, so that's what's just out of it. So you have your 1 through 10. Now you got to kind of figure out the order for the East, which is still up in the air.
Play-in tournament. How about this? Let me ask you this. Do you think the play-in tournament should count as making playoffs, but it's just a round before the first round? Does that make? Do you get what I'm trying to?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Do you think it's an accomplishment worth noting? Oh yeah, because you know how people are oh yeah, well this team made playoffs. Well, do you think we're ever gonna say oh yeah, they made a play-in tournament as an accomplishment?
Maybe down the line. Right now, no. I guess, do you consider making the wild card game into MLB an accomplishment? Because that's essentially what this is.
Because you made playoffs, though. That's the thing.
So this is kind of different.
It's labeled playoffs. This is labeled as a play-in tournament.
I wouldn't be happy about making a play-in and then losing. I wouldn't consider that an accomplishment.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But also I like the fact that you brought up maybe down the line. It needs a little bit more time, I think, maybe.
This is a very good idea, by the way. I actually think it's going to be very entertaining having a play-in tournament because it gives not saying they're bad teams, but it gives the teams with necessarily no chance to win a championship to at least get their shine.
There was only a 8 and 9 play-in last year, right?
And it was only just for the West.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
It was for Portland and Memphis.
Yeah, a play-in is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Last year was crazy, so that's why I'm hoping for some crazy stuff again this year.
Why do you say it was crazy?
I mean, well, first off, the Nets almost hit a game winner to knock the Trailblazers back, and then it would have been
that's right
Memphis versus Suns.
Yeah,
and then in the play-in tournament, I mean, John Moran and Dame Lillard were just going at it, so
yeah, that
was also fun.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
No, I was gonna comment on that. So how do you know how the format works for the play-in?
Yeah,
you got to win 2 games.
I'm pretty sure they're doing it like last year where the top seed has to win 1 game, the lower seed has to win 2. Maybe they changed that up. I don't know. But do you remember how they did?
Really?
So if Memphis would have won that game, they would have had to have won another one against the Trailblazers last year.
I don't remember, honestly, how it went last year. All I remember was Memphis, Portland. Portland won.
Yeah,
if Portland got it.
If Memphis would have won, then they would have had to play again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta keep in there. What is that? Okay. No, but, so time out. Memphis needed to win, because was Memphis in the 9th seed or the 8th seed?
They were in the 9th seed. So, because since they were the lower seed.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't remember if they're doing it like that.
But that's because there were only 2 teams. Now that there's 4, I think they're making it kind of like a double elimination type deal. Not double elimination. I think if you lose a game, you're out, right?
That's what I'm thinking. I think so, but I genuinely don't know. Because it's 4 days before the playoffs. And I'm assuming they have that. Wow, I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I'm not sure either.
We'll do some research and we'll revisit this topic another time.
I think we pretty much hit the nail.
Buy or sell? You don't want to...
What do you mean?
I don't know if you wanted to throw in a couple buy or sells.
Buy or sells. I like buy or sells. Do you have any?
Are you buying that the Suns have an MVP on their team?
Yes.
I'm selling.
And I'll pay a premium on that too. You don't have any buy or sells, do you?
No, not really, honestly.
Yeah, we'll come better prepared, I think, next episode.
Yeah.
But
This episode was mainly just about young guys performing well and kind of getting ready for the playoffs.
yeah. Well, I mean, only guy who played well who's in the running for playoffs was Jason Tatum. KPJ just did it to stunt. Really.
Yeah, but I was saying it like two separate things. But
By the way, the Rockets, they're pretty much locked in for the number one, like to have the worst odds. Not the worst odds, the worst record.
I don't know, man. When is the draft lottery? That's actually
Draft lottery is like late June.
I cannot wait
Yeah.
because I mean, if
I definitely want to record an episode while we're watching it. That's gonna be sick as
or we
hell.
like live stream it. Maybe?
Yeah, I think live streaming actually makes more sense.
Yeah,
We gotta figure that out though. Do you know how to do it?
it's a live stream
Yeah.
on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do it through. Oh wait, how do you do it? You do it on your laptop, no? Or
I do it on Twitch through my PC. Yeah.
okay,
My computer.
We'll definitely need you to set that up.
We could also do it on Twitch on our phone.
We could, right?
Like we could have multiple phones, one for Instagram, one for Twitch, one for.
I see what you're saying. But my thing is, would the audio come out like, kind of like, if we did it on our phone, they're gonna be hearing the audio from our phone, obviously, right?
Yeah. So
But isn't it gonna be poor quality?
for Instagram, it's usually fine. I mean, I watch Drewski go live, and it's pretty funny. And it's do you watch his live sometimes, or at least the highlights of it?
No, I see y'all putting stuff on the group chat.
Dude, if you ever see us send one of his lives, just watch it. It's so funny. Man.
Oh my god. No, but I think I tried experimenting with like creating a Twitch for Hoop MCs, but I was just kind of like, I don't really know what to do from here. So
You want me to be completely honest with you?
go ahead.
I needed 50 followers on Twitch, so I used our email to make a Hoop MCs account. So we have a Hoop MCs.
We do have a Hoop MCs account. All right, cool.
That follows me on Twitch.
Yeah. But no, I think it would be cool to do 2 episodes where we know for sure we can live stream. Hell, we could live stream like the playoffs at some point, like at least certain games. I think it would be pretty cool. And then I definitely want to live stream for sure the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm down to do playoffs and finals for sure.
Yeah.
And then the lottery, I mean, by then we'll have it figured out. So
Yeah.
I'm down, dude. We're going places.
I'm excited. Yeah, because if the Rockets end up getting the 1 seed, it'd be pretty cool to see our reaction. And then B, if the Rockets don't end up getting the number 1 seed or a top 4 seed for that matter, it would be pretty funny to see our reaction.
Dude, I can already just see you like getting on the floor and crying or something if we don't get
I don't think I'd cry, but it's been such a shitstorm for Houston sports that I'd be numb to it.
Yeah, this past 2 years, I mean, we've just watched our stars.
What do we do? The city of Houston.
You just take it, man. I mean, it's not like the first time we've been through this. But like,
No, this is the first time.
when the Texans were 2-14, were the Rockets good that year?
When
think
did
that
we
was
go
our-
2 and
I
14?
think that was our first year with Harden, so maybe that's why we kind of took that. But has there ever been a time where the Astros, Rockets, and Texans?
No,
have been
but
bad?
what I'm talking about was like just the downfall.
Yeah, that's
Like not even the Astros technically haven't gone through a downfall, but it was rough how they went through that whole cheating scandal.
Yeah.
The Texans with the Deshaun Watson stuff, and now James Harden left. It's just like we're in the dark ages, my friend.
I'm looking at you, and I just want to give you a hug, dude. I know earlier I wanted to
I think
beat the
I
bricks
need
off
one.
of you, but now I want to give you a hug. It's gonna be okay. I think
need
if
one.
What?
I think I need one.
You want me to get up and do it, or you? I mean,
I think so.
we'll do it after the episode.
I need one now.
We're actually
Come here, man.
What are we doing?
Audio listeners, we are currently giving a hug during the stream. I mean, not stream, during the recording.
Come here, dude. It's gonna be okay, Hassan.
I need it, man. This episode has gone off the rails,
Yeah.
but if you're still tuning in, we appreciate it. Make sure you follow, comment, subscribe, share on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are an audio listener, hey, give YouTube a chance. I feel like, oh yeah, he has the thing over there to show that to subscribe and like and whatnot. But if you are an audio listener, give the visual a chance. You might like it. But you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you download our episodes, follow us on there, subscribe, leave a review, all that good stuff. It goes a long way, honestly. Lets us know that you guys are watching and appreciate and like what we're putting out. So we're excited, man. I actually, these past 2 weeks have been my favorite time, recording these podcast episodes.
Yeah, same. I'm a lot more excited.
It became less of a chore because I was excited at the beginning when we created this thing, and then it started becoming a chore just because we were putting out twice a week, I think. So it became daunting. And then now, since we moved over here, I feel like you and I are having a lot more fun with it.
Yeah, once a week is definitely, I feel like, a lot better.
Yeah.
And I get to see you, man.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I get to see my friend.
Yeah.
My co-host.
My friend.
My compadre.
My brother.
Is compadre a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it means, but it's a word.
I think it's a word. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And until next time, we will see y'all. Peace.
Later.
Trauma bonds, got close off of battle scars. Equal pain, so we think it's equal games. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was winning the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.